country music is getting bigger every year in the UK. As you all know, if you've heard any coverage of the Country to Country Festival in London, Belfast and Glasgow over the weekend.
Now, one of the headline acts was Lainey Wilson, who has notched up multiple hits for herself, but she's also written for artists including Dolly Parton. I'm delighted to say Lainey is with us now. Morning.
Good morning.
And you definitely win Hat of the Day.
I should have brought y'all a hat.
I'm disappointed.
I have plenty.
I'll have that one.
Next time.
You look like J.R. Ewing, I would have thought. You know J.R. Ewing, you know what I mean? Dallas, back in the day, the TV show.
Yes.
You're too young to remember.
No. My daddy used to watch Dallas all the time.
OK.
There you go. Now, Lainey, you have been spectacularly busy. You've only just made it literally by the skin of your teeth into our studio this morning.
We were coming in on two wheels. If you heard something in the parking lot, that's what was happening.
I love that.
We just came from Glasgow this morning.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
That you're so busy here in the UK. What's the support like here?
It's unreal. I know like all of the artists probably say a similar thing, but it really is true that the listeners here are just a little bit different. It seems like they kind of like sit on the edge of their seat and lean in and listen. And I'm a songwriter before I'm an artist, and I take a lot of pride in my storytelling. And it just feels like they really care about the story. It's very special.
Do they react differently then, maybe to a US audience?
100%. I love my US audience.
Of course you do. Of course you do. So how do they differ?
Well, in 2018 was the very first time that I got to come over here, and it was just me and my guitar, and I was like, okay, they're not going to know me from Adam, but they were so excited that country music was coming over here that they went and learned everything that I had ever put out. And I'll never forget, I was at Bush Hall in London, and I could hear a pin drop, and then all of a sudden I heard people singing back to me, and that was the very first time I ever heard people singing my music back to me.
Wow.
So they caught on here first before I had fans at home.
Why do you think that is? Do you know?
Oh my gosh. I don't really know, but I do know that you can just tell that they are a sucker for a good story.
Let's talk about the story, because actually your story is incredible, isn't it? Tell us how all of this happened.
It's wild. I've been writing music since I was 9 years old. I'm from a town of 180 people.
Wow.
Wow. That's small anywhere, let alone in the States.
That's right. A little town called the Village of Baskin in Louisiana, where country music is life. I mean, it was the soundtrack of our lives. I felt like we lived out all the stories that were being told. That's me and my sister.
That's the cutest.
Yes, little cowgirls. And I've been at this a long time. I've been in Nashville for going on 15 years. This is the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing I want to do, and I feel very blessed, very, very blessed.
Which do you prefer? You said just then, and we mentioned in the introduction, you've written songs for people like Dolly Parton, for goodness sake. And yet you're also an acclaimed performer now. Do you prefer one over the other, or is it a bit of both?
I feel like it's kind of whatever I'm doing in that moment. I love it all, but I will tell you, before I am an artist, I am a songwriter. That's where it started for me, and I think it was from being from a town of 180, and like there's not a lot to do except sit around and tell the same old stories and listen to the same old stories.
And when you say country music is life, is that what you mean by that? That actually the music is in everything that you do and every part of the life that you live? Absolutely.
Like if you think country music is a lot about trucks, it's because we live our life in the back of a truck, you know, like almost every memory I have is in a truck. But I'm also from a family of farmers. I'm a 5th generation farmer's daughter. And my daddy farms corn, wheat, soybeans, oats. We have horses, and it just feels like the voices that I heard on the radio when I was a small girl, I felt like they were singing directly to me and my family.
What does your dad think about the fact his little girl has gone from there and now you're sitting on the other side of the world on a TV couch? Talking.
He likes to brag to his buddies, I'll tell you that.
Yeah?
Good.
It's a little embarrassing.
He should.
He must be like, you know, can't believe what's happened.
He's very excited. Him and my mama both, they supported me before anybody did. And when I tell you they believed it, they believed that I could do this from the beginning. I think it was a lot to do with their belief in me as to why I thought maybe I'll give this a shot.
So you were fearless, maybe. That little girl that we saw singing wasn't afraid.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Listening to you talk and talking about the importance of your songwriting in what you do and going to Nashville and the support of your parents, forgive me if people have made this comparison, forgive me if it's a wrong one, but different type of music maybe, but that's a Taylor Swift story.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you get comparisons in that way? Do you see that parallel?
I don't know if I've ever been compared to her, but that's a nice comparison, I'll tell you.
She's doing okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite safe.
Yeah, 100%. The very first time I saw Taylor Swift was in Nashville at CMA Festival. They have a thing every single year where you can go and see every artist that you've ever wanted to see. And she had her first song on the radio. She was playing on a stage called the Riverfront stage. And it was me and my mama and my sister and maybe like 15 others. And I got to meet Taylor Swift at the Grammys. And I told her, I was like, I was at one of your first shows in Nashville. And she was like, there were like 15 people there. And I was like, well, we were 4 of the 15.
You mentioned the Grammys. You weren't just at the Grammys, you were nominated?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
In the end, the Grammy went to Beyonce.
That's right.
What's that like? Is that a little bit, I don't know, frustrating because she's crossed over now the other way into country music?
Not for me at all, just because at the end of the day, like when I first started doing this and dreaming about doing this, I never in a million years was thinking like I'm doing this just for the awards, you know, like just to have the shiny stuff up on the shelf. I'm doing this to play shows and put butts in seats and make people feel something. So I got an opportunity to meet her at the Grammys, and I walked up to her like 7-foot-tall security guy, and I'm like, can I meet her?
What did she say? Hey, have you got any good songs?
Yeah. No,
right for me.
we both share just like a deep appreciation for what each other does, and I think that she's introduced a lot of people to the country genre that maybe never even knew that they liked it.
Yeah.
And country's on fire right now.
We are big fans of Yellowstone over here in this country.
Yes.
And am I right? Are you going to be in it? Are you in it already?
I was in season 5.
Wow.
And that was the very last season. It was my first acting gig. I've been acting a fool my whole life, but that was my first like official acting gig, and loved it. Absolutely loved it.
You do more of it then?
I think so. I really think so. It's just another way for me to be creative, and like it's definitely something I didn't sign up for, you know, but I made a promise to myself a long time ago. You know, when I look at people like Dolly Parton and Reba, like the ladies that were given opportunities because of their gift of storytelling. Yeah. That weren't necessarily like just musical opportunities, but they haven't been scared to kind of step outside of the lines and try things that they didn't technically sign up for. I want a career like that. I want to be able to just be creative and have fun and not say no.
So you're living the dream right now. Well, literally right now, isn't it? not literally, but
maybe
you are living the dream.
2 minutes to 9 in the morning.
Do you have a big goal? Do you have a big...
Oh, my goodness. Well, this is our 6th or 7th time coming over here to play music. I feel like the venues keep getting bigger and bigger every single time, and the audiences keep getting bigger. It's really insane. I mean, my goal is to be a global country musician, and
I think that might be what you are already.
Well, I don't know. That's the goal, is to continue. But also just continue having fun and meeting people and going places and getting to experience all the things I never thought I'd get to.
Thank you very much for coming in. Especially because you haven't had to make such a huge effort to get from Glasgow to see us this morning.
Lainey, that's great. I'll have one of those hats.
I got you.